Xin ciao, what's going on? What's up, everybody? All right, we are at the Galleria in District 2, across from over the new bridge, and we are going to walk back over to District 1, and I'm going to do some talking about some things. Mainly, do I think all these high-rises are actually going to get finished? There's actually a big problem with all these developers and these projects getting finished in the 2023 year. So we're going to talk about that. If you do find the video helpful, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe. That's the best way to help my channel. Other than that, let's keep it moving. Let's get into the content. As I've been saying in every video, half the content is now going to be located on the Patreon for the YouTube channel. Unique videos uploaded just to Patreon. No embedded YouTube link. We're talking shot professionally on the 4K camera, upload straight to Patreon. You can sign up for Patreon for as small as $5 a month, which equals out to 16 cents. If you want to get a private tour from me, that's also where you'd have to sign up for that and then talk to me through the DMs on there. Then we can set up the pricing for the tour, etc. Okay, so let's get into it. Tour availability will be limited due to my extremely busy schedule. So, all right, so what's been going on is, and this has been going on for ages here, since these high-rises started getting built here, their funding solely is in the pre-sale of the units, which, yeah, ours isn't really done that way in America, but in Asia, and I'm sure other parts of the world, pre-sale, the funding comes from selling. So selling the units ahead of time, having faith in the project that it'll get finished and it'll get completed is how they race to finish the project. Well, what's happening now is a lot of these investors, they're losing money and people aren't pre-buying as much as they should be. So what happens when you run out of money completely, the project just stops. This happened at Vinhomes Golden River. Lux 6 was halfway built, or Lux 5 was halfway built. I think they were going to call it Lux 7. It was Lux 7 or Lux 5. But Lux whatever was halfway built and they ran out of funding. The guy that owns Vin's wife wanted to do the electric cars, so I think they pulled all the way out of the project. You know, this is why they got rid of Vinmart as well, to free up funding for other ventures. So it just sat stagnant for years, and I don't know what happened to the people that pre-bought on those. Did they get some of their money back? Were they offered to then take that money and be able to buy into the Marriott Masteries project that's now coming up? We're about to take a look at the building and I'll explain it all to you. So I mean, it's a risky venture to do the pre-buys here. If I had the money, if there is a pre-buy on a set of buildings, say if they're planning to do, I think they're planning to do 7 of these things at our place, 7 or 8. I think there's little to no risk on the initial first building. So if you're keen to do it and get a better deal and you really want to live at that place, I would say your best bet is going to be to do the pre-buy on the first unit. So like if I was going to buy out of this Masteries project, even though I think it's insanely overpriced, it's double the price of all the Golden River apartments. So now granted, if I had a lot of expendable money, if I had the $1 million, because you have to pay the $1 million here right away. There is no mortgages here. They don't exist. They want you to pretty much tidy up payment within usually 90 days to 6 months here. So you pretty much got to have cash for these things. You can get funding, but you have to pay it back like immediately. So like they don't do a mortgage here. So if I did potentially say have $1 million, even though I don't personally think it's worth it, it might be worth it. I mean, who knows in the future, but it is really nice. I looked at all the units and stuff. I would seriously consider buying one, but at this point I wouldn't want a 1-bedroom. That's too small, so I'd need a 2-bedroom, and those start at like 1.4, 1.5, 1.6 million, and that's just not obtainable. I would not buy that. So it's a big shift over from the Golden River. So Golden River, if you watched my first apartment, that really nice 2-bedroom, 2-bath apartment that I think was around 70 meters. I don't know, I think I say that the meterage in that video. It's like one of my #1 videos, so just look through popular uploads and you'll see my face like looking at the Golden River building, and you can watch that. That unit, that exact unit is for sale right now for $445,000 USD dollars, and it's been sitting on the market for a year. And that's a really nice unit. Like, it's in perfect condition. The guy that's living in it now, he's taking care of it too, as far as I know. So, I mean, if a 2-bedroom that's on a almost top floor is selling for that good of a price on a very modern build, I just don't see the stretch to 1 million, to double, because it's just got a little bit nicer finishes on the inside and a better concierge service and a cooler looking pool. Because that's ultimately what they did with this Masteries project. Let's walk and get a little better camera shot. I still have no idea why they blocked these stairs. I think for this construction, we're worried about it. But it doesn't make a lot of sense. Let's see. And essentially, since this was a Vinhomes project, like I was telling you, it was a landmark, I think it was landmark 5 or 7. It was one of the two. I can't remember which direction they were going. It was 7. It was going to be 7. I remember now. Landmark 7. Yeah, I know a great deal about these buildings. So, I don't see the double the price for a Vinhomes Golden River just with better lipstick on and better makeup. Because that's essentially all it really is. And these villas you see down here, these sell for like crazy, ridiculous prices. The houses on the bottom, I think it's like 10 to 20 million. Which I don't know who's got that kind of loot for those, but apparently some people do. I could be wrong on that price, but I'll price check it and then add it in here if I am wrong. So what's happening is all the bonds are getting called out this year. And a lot of these companies use bonds. And then a lot of these deals that are setting up, like these companies, are losing funding for their projects because that particular part of the economy isn't good right now. People aren't buying high-end apartments for $1 million right now, or even high-end apartments for $500,000. By example of how that one's been on the market for a year, and it's a premium, top-notch unit. So I think what's going to happen, and don't quote me on this, but I do not see this Masteries project getting finished. I see it's going to stall. I could almost bet you on it. So if you look over here, if you see that lit up thing, you can barely see it down here, that's where one of the subway entrances is. So as you can see, the subway is going to be directly tied in with this deal. That's the only reason why I think if it does finish, that's why, is they'll get enough people to buy because of the subway. But how long are we away from the actual subway? These buildings are going to be done probably before this subway is done. But I don't know, I think they went too ambitious on this project. They're building like 7, I think, buildings it was, or 8 when I looked at it. I'll have to look back through the paperwork. But I think they're with these first 3 or 4 buildings done. And then I think you're gonna see a stall here. And I think they're gonna get this commercial building done. So this is all part of the Mastery shit, all this. This is gonna be a commercial building with like offices and stuff to rent. So it'll kind of be the first commercial building on this side. I don't know how zoning works for all that stuff. I can tell you that you can do commercial in all of these. You just have to have an apartment called an OT, and you can operate a business out of an apartment if you have an OT, and that stands for office tel. So if you are planning to do business and you don't want to have to go rent an office or get a virtual office, which is a lot of people do just get a virtual office, because that's part of the requirements here in Vietnam, you can rent an apartment called an OT. And then you can operate a business out of there. Say if you're a hair salon or something like that, you can then go ahead and run that hair salon out of there legally and all that jazz. And Vinhomes Central Park, which, hold on, we can go this way. I can show you that while we talk about it. And Vinhomes Central Park, which is all these skyscrapers you're looking at right now in front of me, with the crane blocking landmark 81. That also has the OTs, but they even let you put the company like sign on the outside of your apartment there. I don't know if you can here. I've never seen it done here. I'd imagine probably a no-go, and I don't think there's any way to because of the way the buildings are set up. As far as I know, out of all the big projects, I think this Vinhomes Central Park is the most populated one. That's where a lot of people tend to go. As I said, the prices for rent is going up everywhere, but I think we're already at a crossroads. And what's going to happen is these projects get canceled this year. You're going to see rent go down as well. I just don't see it being sustainable for these high rents. I think eventually, you know, like once a subway's done, things like this could be high rent, sure. But right now, there's no warrant and cause for the 30% raising of rent in a lot of these nicer apartments. Again, this is in a desirable area of a city. Someone's always going to go on the comments and be like, I can get my apartment for the same price in Duck City. Okay, well, Duck City is not even Saigon anymore. Like, you're way out there. Like, that. Okay, yeah, sure, you can always get an apartment cheaper in the suburbs, and they don't go up as fast. I mean, duh. That's like that in any city in the world. But I'm talking being in a metropolis, in the middle of a metropolis, in the middle of new builds, rent's going to go up, okay? There's no stopping that. But I think what a lot of landlords are doing here is COVID repair, you know, the COVID tax. And I just don't think it's sustainable, but I don't think they really care. A Vietnamese, I kid you not, would rather have an empty apartment for a year than to like lower rent. All the ones I've dealt with are like that. I swear. Like my apartment's sitting empty right now. My old apartment is going to be sitting empty. And it'll probably be empty for a while because she wants some aggressive rate for it. And she's like, I don't care. I'll just let it sit empty. I'm like, okay. I mean, and if you just do any basic math, you know, if you're vacant for 2 months, you've just lost any profit you would have had from raising your rent and getting a new tenant in, unless you think they're going to stay for like 3 to 5 years. That's a really long payoff till you get up in the actual rent. So you see that with a lot of stuff here. You know, we talked about it with the tet trees. You know, they'd rather destroy a tet tree than sell it. There's no logic in it. You know, there's no business sense applied. It's just what they personally think, you know. And that is a Vietnamese thing. That's also a part of the reason why customer service is a huge issue here. It's because they simply just don't care. Like, it's just not a thought in their head. And if these things are never taught to you in school and you keep learning from generation to generation that this is how it is, what do you think is going to happen? You can't expect any change, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, right? Let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think about all the stuff we talked about this video in the comment section? I'm curious to hear, how is she taking pictures with a mask on? But where is she going to post a mask picture? Xin chào. Hello. She looks cute, but take the mask off. Was she going to catch COVID? It's like, take that mask off, COVID's just going to sneak in. That's what I think about masks now. Pretty stupid. I guess, man, if you want to wear one, though, it's up to you. So I'm very wary that this project's going to get finished. You can see there's a lot. You'll see there's a bunch more coming up. I think they'll get the foundation done for a lot of them. So my guess is they're just going to hit it hard. They're going to try to finish as much as they can as fast as possible. Like, because they don't want to run out of the money. And now they've still got it, so. But Mastery's already pulled out of their other project, their second project in the city, which was by Bentham Market, which was going to be a Ritz-Carlton, I think. Something, one of those really high-end worldwide hotels. And they jumped out of it during COVID. Then Mastery's jumped in on it during COVID, and they were going to do the same thing with here, just make it a high-end living/working environment. And they've now pulled out of that as well. Their logo's gone from the cranes. Their Mastery's home thing is gone from the outside, and there's no movement at that construction site whatsoever. So I think that's officially a project that has lost funding. But someone will pick that project up because of its location, and it's already planned out for a hotel. So more than likely what'll happen is some kind of hotel, like a big chain worldwide, will pick that place up and then finish it out. And then let's talk about this other one. I think we got a view of it. We might be too far. Yeah, I think we'd have to be farther down. It's over here. The one that they just put all the glass on. And they stole all the money for it. They already shut that project down too. we'll get more of a look in this backside and show you what's going to be the future of this area. So like I said, this is going to be a commercial building. There's going to be a main subway station here. It's going to be an underground station. I think there's a mall here as well. I think they planned out some kind of underground mall deal. I don't know if it's going to be like Korean underground mall, how they do it, or like Taiwan underground mall, how they do it. You know, each place has underground malls a little bit differently. I think that's all I got. If you know anything about this stuff and add it in, if I was wrong about anything, let me know in the comment section. Again, I'm not a perfect researching person. I just know what I know from talking to people, talking to agents that work at these places. I happen to know a lady that's selling these masteries. If you for some reason want to spend $1 million and buy one of these, you can contact me and I'll put you in contact with them and you can buy a unit. I do know a guy that's bought 3 units in there and he really believes in the project. He bought in these before. I think he bought 2 units in the new ones. He had 1 unit at Golden River before and he sold that for a pretty good profit. So let's keep her moving. I think that's all I got. I can't think of anything else to say. That is the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Like I said in the beginning, Patreon's gonna get pretty much half the YouTube content now. So if you wanna support me, you can support me for $5 a month for as little as 16 cents a day. Or you can sign up for the higher tier for $11 a month, and I think that comes out to like 100. You can sign up for yearly too. So like, I think the first tier for yearly comes out with a discount to like 55 bucks. The second tier is like 110 bucks or something. So that is probably the best way if you know you want to support the channel and see the Patreon content. Just sign up for a year at a time. They give you a huge discount. All right, guys, stay frosty. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one. Peace out.